Hello and welcome to Couple of Instigators. Today I have my faithful Lauren, who's always with me, and my special guest, Marci Warhaft. Did I say it right? Oh God, I'm such a nightmare. Oh my God. Marci. Okay. I found Marci on a Facebook group with like just this beautiful, bubbly little post. And I somehow ended up like, I hit your Facebook and I was like, just went into like a dive on your TikTok. And I was like, you are just the most positive, bubbly, upbeat person, and that you need to be on the podcast. And this is how I find people. And normally I'm instigating trouble on the internet. And I found you on one of the progressive lesbian Facebook. There's thousands of women on there, right? Yeah. And it is one of my favorite pages to troll because let's face it, they start fighting over the most ridiculous stuff. And I usually keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean? I just like to scroll and go, woo! Right? That's a lot.
Grab some popcorn and get ready for the show.
Yeah, get ready for the show. Yeah. But I follow so many of these groups because I get entertained. I really do. Ooh. And, I'm also a lesbian, so I'm not, and I tried to invite Lauren to come on to some of these lesbian pages. And I'm like, Lauren, just come.
There were so many posts and so many people.
I know. Some of them are
I find Facebook groups overwhelming, so I try to keep it limited.
Yeah, they can be.
But a couple of the progressive ones that we are on, they do post, there has to be 30, 40 posts a day. Mm-hmm. On there. Yeah. So it is a lot to keep up with. So I don't always keep up, but I got a lot of other groups I have to wreak havoc in. So that's just, I have to have a limit. But at any rate, Marci wrote a book called The Good Stripper. Now, when I saw that, The Good Stripper, of course, I had told you, I grew up, my dad had the first strip clubs. And so I was very intrigued with this and how you got here and how you got to body positivity coach. Is that what we call it?
Sure, we can call it that.
I don't know. Listen, I need all the body positivity I can get. So maybe you can help me out. Don't we all? So yeah, we're going to talk about all of that.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. So shall we start with how a soccer mom, life, loss, and lap dances. That's amazing. Okay. The memoir of lies, loss, and lap
soccer
dances.
Mom. Here, I'll say it. The Good Stripper, a soccer mom's memoir of lies, loss, and lap dances.
It's amazing.
I'm glad my life is entertaining. Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, I'm sure obviously it's not.
No, I'm teasing. No, it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. It is for sure.
And I have to tell you that the only books that I really do read and listen to are memoirs of people who have overcome, and I love. Those are my favorite. And that
well, me too. I think the people that I find that I relate to the most are the people, not the people who. Like you said that at the beginning, I'm the very bubbly and positive, and I am, but I'm not one of those people who wakes up every morning and is like, I'm alive, and so I'm happy, and let's enjoy life because we got a chance to take another breath. I'm not.
So you're dead inside like me sometimes.
Not all the time. No, see, the thing is, I could be, but I fight it. No, I think, like I always say, so I'm known because I dance. Dancing makes me happy. And so I'll post dancing videos. But I always say I dance either because I'm happy or because I want to be happy. So for example, and I'll do it walking down the street. I'll have my music on and I walk and I'll dance down the street. And I had a construction worker once say to me, you've got to be the most, the happiest person I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, not always. The world is crap right now. But this makes me happy. So what I do is I try to focus or find the things that make me happy. So, but I'm not somebody who's going to post, when I post stuff, it could be fun, it could be naughty, it could be sassy, it could be angry, but it's not going to be the same cliched be happy quote that you see everywhere, because that's the toxic positivity but
that's not realistic for any. I mean,
it's not helpful. It just makes people who are going through life, like I'm always saying, feel your feelings. Like if you want to be angry, if you want to feel sad, because like my mother used to say when I was little, it's okay to have little mini breakdowns because it avoids the big ones, right? It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel, if you're pushing it away and you feel like you have to be happy all the time, it's crazy. I mean, only sociopaths are like that. And it really doesn't help anybody, because it's like I said, what I started to say was I relate to people who have been through stuff. I relate to people who have fallen down more than once and gotten dirty while they were pulling themselves up. I relate to that. And I think what I've learned, and we can talk about it more, is writing the book was an interesting experience, but releasing it and having people read it, that changed my life, because when I wrote it, I was prepared for people to shun me. I was prepared because I was exposing the most shameful parts of my life. And I was expecting people to turn their backs on me. And I was ready for it, as ready as you can be. But what I found was most people were like constantly getting messages from people saying, oh my God, I relate to that. And not the details, because some of the details are crazy, but they relate to loss. They relate to feeling guilt. They relate to not feeling good enough. They relate to so many parts of it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will say, I can't talk about it now, but it makes me feel good that you can. I had someone else say, I talked about losing my brother, and I had someone say they lost their brother at the same age as I was, but they've never been able to articulate it the way that I did, where they've never seen their feelings put into print. And it was so cathartic for them to read. Or someone else just say, okay, I've done some of those things. And when you're dealing with it alone, you feel isolated because you feel like you're the worst person in the world. You feel like you've done something horrible. And then when you see somebody that you like and they go, no, I've done that. All of a sudden you go, oh, well, I don't think they're terrible. So maybe I'm not terrible. So I think there's something, I wish that we didn't feel the need to only show our perfect. I wish that we felt like I am now, like I'm so liberal. I'll show you the crap, whatever. And I'm not ashamed of it. And because I think that that's what people need to see, so that will make you feel less alone. Not somebody who says, oh, come on, tomorrow's another day. Okay, but I'm dealing with today. So can you help me today? And I think that, we'd be so much better off if we could share all of ourselves, not just the pretty stuff.
You are so smart.
Thanks.
You're an amazing speaker. No, really, it's, yeah, very smart. Very good. Yeah, I'm full of I'm dead inside and I feel hopeless majority of the time. So you're very uplifting. And I can't find a therapist, like me and Lauren have discussed. I can't find a therapist. Everybody's booked. And I have been told.
Call me. I do that, but I do it cheap because people talk to me. I'm the coach. I'm a coach. Because it's so funny you say that, like I'm teasing, but what I find is, so I was doing body image coaching for years. But then when I released my book, I'd have people calling me saying, can I call you to talk about stuff? Even though I'm not a therapist and I'm way this expensive, but because again, there are a lot of people who aren't comfortable talking with therapists, but they knew instinctively that they could tell me stuff because I've been through enough shit that I can relate to almost anything.
Right.
And B, there's no judgment ever. And C, they know also nothing is, nothing is leaving whatever somebody tells me. It's not going anywhere. So I have people now I've expanded, and I will work with people who just are going through guilt or going through trauma or going through shame and can't really express their truth yet and are just beating themselves up. I'm helping people with that on top of the body image stuff. And I'll tell you, I know it's hard. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, it's
but
fine.
It pisses me off, the whole thing with therapists. I mean, there are therapists who charge like $200, $250 an hour. And that's, to me, it's so awful because these are people saying, I need help emotionally. I need help. And they're going, well, my time is worth whatever. And I think turning anyone away, that was my biggest problem when I was doing my body image stuff, is I couldn't turn anyone away. I would meet with parents and kids one-on-one. I would meet with kids one-on-one. And there were times when I didn't charge a penny because a parent would call me and say, I can't see a therapist. My daughter passed out at school today because she's not eating. I can't get her into a program. Can you meet her tomorrow? And I would, because how do I turn down a parent whose kid is suffering like that? I couldn't. I always am the worst businesswoman, but I can't. I didn't choose this. It's just it. You know, I have to
Right.
do it.
And also the fact that people can't be taught what you know because you lived it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't care how much schooling you get. You know what I mean? I believe that it's the same thing with people that are like a lot of drug addiction. There are people that have recovered, and
Yes.
a lot of them just volunteer their time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To help others, because like that's what their truth. They've lived it and they can help. But you know, my girlfriend is a social worker, not a therapist. She could be a therapist, but she said the same thing. Like it would be tough for her to private practice because would be terrible with like the whole business part, because people
Mm-hmm.
need help and the money. You know what I mean? And it, you know, and I
having
would be
been
horrible because I'm a bleeding. I have so much empathy sometimes that I just shoot it. I'm just like,
especially when you've been there. Like I've been on the other side of it, where I battled an eating disorder for over 20 years. I've been that desperate. So for me to have somebody, to turn someone down who's I don't just understand it, I feel it, the pain that they're going through, and to turn them away, I can't do that. I can't do that. I may not be able to meet with them every week, but I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow on Zoom who just reached out and just needs some help, and I'm gonna give her some help. You know, I can't not.
But in turn, I believe that helping helps you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I do stand-up comedy, and I love helping like new female comics that are coming in. We need every one of them because we are overpowered by men. And I mean, everyone's like, you should do a class. I'm like, number one, I wouldn't charge anybody because that's just how I am. I wouldn't.
Right.
But I feel like I feel that makes me feel better, is to help, you know, other female comics and, you know, to keep them coming back. And, you know, it's tough, but
I'm sure they need that because it is a tough male oriented profession. And I'm sure
they
terrible. Need that. It's very easy to give up. I'm sure it's very easy to get discouraged.
And the men don't give up because they all think they killed it when they didn't get one laugh. But you know, I mean, the women are real. Women see it. And women are much more like their feelings I don't think like they take those punches and are able to come back from it. When they bomb, they feel it 10 times more than all of those guys. You do.
Right.
I believe we do as women. I don't know. Because men, if I just had like half of some of the balls and confidence of some of these comics that go up and bomb and get off stage and go, I killed it.
Well, you know what they say, right? Oh, to have the confidence of a mediocre white male. I mean, that's the thing. It's because they're just told they're great all the time. And if they're not great, it's someone else's fault. Whereas with women, we're kind of put down. And when we succeed, I mean, it's the same thing. If, you know, he's a comedian, she's a female comedian. No, they're both comedians, but like we're female anything, you know, and especially if for years, the whole thing was that, oh, women aren't funny. Right.
Yep.
So I think that we just have so much more to prove. So I think that if you're, and I've said before, I can stand up in front of anyone and talk, but I think stand-up comedy has got to be like it's the bravest, and I love it. I told you before.
Right, we were talking. You love stand-up.
I'm such a stand-up slut. I love it. But I would never do it. I think it's so hard, and you're putting your soul out, because it's one thing. Like I can stand up in front of an audience and tell my story and tell like the craziest details and pour my soul out that way. But to try and make someone laugh, oh my God. Like that's
getting somebody to laugh at your trauma and putting jokes in, and so many female, I mean, comics do it, and they do it so well. And it's such a gift when you can get up and do a joke about being raped and kill. Like it's crazy, but so many do. And it is such a gift. And this is why a lot of other female comics tell me all the time, like they're like, if you get therapy, your comedy will be so much better, because the more real I can be and